Oh, what a special day. What is going on, everyone? My name is Reshiman. Welcome back to another video on the channel. And today is a very special day. And quite frankly, I don't know if any of you have looked at your calendars by the time you're watching this video, but it is May 20th. What does that mean? That means it's the 5-year channel anniversary. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We've been on YouTube for 5 years. And I gotta be honest with you, if I were to thank every single one of you for all the help and support out there, I'd be up here till 12 a.m. And it is like 9:11 as I'm recording this, 9:11 p.m. That is. And quite frankly, that means a lot to me. And YouTube was never really meant to be a long term thing when I started back when the pandemic was full blown going on. So, like, I was like, oh, YouTube could just be like this little thing on the side and I'll forget it after a while. Oh, no, that wasn't the case. It has become a part of my life and I don't regret it at all. It's been interesting. We've definitely been through some twists and turns through things, but we've made it out clear as ever. So I can't wait. And a lot of new content's coming this summer, so I can't wait. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff and interested in like gaming and all that, please consider hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, become part of the Reshi Mind Squad. Sorry, tongue twister, right? So what are we talking about tonight? Well, we're talking about Transformers Earth Wars, but that's not all, ladies and gentlemen. That's not all. I got some exciting news for you guys. Now, let's start off with the non Transformers content. Where did I put it? Of course, I missed. Oh, right here, down here. Alright. So, first thing we're going to talk about is the new game. Okay, I got a new game the other day. My friend Daniel came over and he was like, "Do you want to play this game?" I was like, "Sure." Ended up purchasing. This is Nature of Command of Nature. So this is a little game that actually is very kid friendly, and basically it's got little sages in there that you're trying to defend before they get destroyed. Now here's the thing: this game is a lot more heavy thinking than thought possible. In fact, my brain after Abe and I were playing this game, our brains were so fried because we had to think so much. So that's going to come to the channel at some point. I'm not sure. I'm going to introduce it to Andrew, see what Andrew thinks, and perhaps that might be something new. Now, another thing, and this is exciting because I'm very excited. Mech Arena has introduced new PvP maps, player versus player for control, point control, or control point, or something like that. The maps absolutely look gorgeous, but here's the catch. I'm not just going to be doing one or two battles in the new maps. I'm going to be doing 15 maps. 15 battles, I should say. That's right. So you're getting a lot of content this way. Now, uh, I don't know when those will be released. I just recently just uploaded to my computer the second part of that. So it's not going to be all crammed into one video. You're going to see multiple things. Now, I would do this with real players, but the problem is real players tend to hack the game to the point where the game becomes unfun. And I don't want to experience that, and I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to see that either. So I'm going to be using computers, but I think the games will be as competitive as ever. So stay tuned for that. It'll be in the community tab. And by the way, if you are like, why is Reshi Mind not uploading videos? Please check the community tab because I will list every information that I possibly can there. So just make sure. Now, I do have to address an elephant in the room because a lot of you guys were like, where's the Saturday video you promised us? Right here, ladies and gentlemen. That is the reason why. The other day, on Thursday, I was playing pickleball and I went to hit the ball and I smacked the side of the paddle this side. So like pretend like my hand's the paddle. It's this side. Clunked it right here. Right on the right here. Ouch. So I ended up being able to finish my games out that day, but after was pretty bad. Um, Friday was terrible. I was all out over the place. It just was miserable. But Saturday managed to get back into the flow of things. Unfortunately, after Abe left, I was in bed for the rest of the night because I just had such a bad headache. So it hurts to do a lot of things, but I was just like, you know what? This video is way overdue. You might as well do it anyway before you go to bed. So I think that's it. Is it? Yes, Minecraft's going to be coming back. I'm going to be starting to do some Minecraft, but my computer has been dealing with some storage issues, so I got to get that looked at. Uh, Basically, there's going to be a lot of content that's going to get uploaded just to get out of my computer system. Also, I have these handy things called flash drives. I'm not sure if any of you seen one. I mean, I hope. These guys will be my best friend because I have a lot of content that needs to go on there, so that way my computer can run smoothly. Now, speaking of content uploading, you guys have may noticed that the Manevra guide is up. Or Manevra. I'll never get her name correctly. However, I do have some unfortunate news. Jetson C4 notified me that he is not able to do any more thumbnails for the time being. Now, he's not getting replaced by CF. I'm not saying either do better than the other. I'm just going to basically just go back and forth bouncing between the two. Now, Jetson C4 did leave me with some new thumbnails for, I think, Leo Prime, Air Raid, and Smokescreen. So I'll be using them. The next guide is going to be confirmed as Wheeljack, and then we're going to go into, I think, Air Raid and Smokescreen next as a double guide. So just prepare for that. Speaking of Transformers Earth Wars, let's get right into the main content. Now, not this past weekend, but 2 weeks ago, there was a Titan event. Now, the Titan event was 125K for the total for a 5-star Titan. That is pretty good, but what more stood out to me was the rewards. Now, at the time I'm recording this video, I actually cannot put the what I have from the event crystal-wise, so I'm gonna have editor Reshimine next morning upload that. So hopefully, editor, it's up to you now. But anyhow, I did something I hope I should never do again. Now, I usually get sleep pretty good, right? I usually sleep pretty good past so on and so forth. I usually wake up around 5:30. So it was Mother's Day. No, it was the morning of Mother's Day. And I woke up at, what time did I wake up? I think it was like 12 o'clock in the morning, okay? What would usual people do? Go back to sleep, right? Not this guy right here. I don't know what happened. I just could not get back to sleep. So at 1:30 a.m., I was like, the event's going on. I'm at 16K points, okay? And I want to get a new 5-star combat because we know how painful those are. Yeah, I did a couple of event runs. I think about 5 event runs before 6 o'clock. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, imagine this. Many people actually give up their whole entire weekend of sleep just to do the event. Just think about that. But you may be asking yourself, Reshimine, what combat did you actually get from your 5-star crystal? Well, let's find out. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yes, I am very, very excited. I gotta be honest with you. Um, this poll made it worth it. Now, Nightstick. Is Nightstick even good? Yes, he is one of those bots that actually can use the binary bond, that thing that can take a combat from level 10 to level 11. But let's look at where he landed on, and I'm going to pull up the stats here real quick. Editor will. But Red Alert. Now, why Red Alert of all bots? Well, the thing of the matter is, this made a domino effect. You see, Red Alert had the 4-star Nightstick. Now, Air Raid has that Nightstick, and then the 3-star Nightstick rolled down to Smokescreen. So it was kind of like a little domino effect. So let's look at Red Alert here real quick. He is a special class bot with the ability of Speedrun, level 11, 4 plus 3. Give your allies 50% damage absorption, 100% to you, and stun immunity for 10 seconds. Then rush into combat, smashing walls and causing 1,606 damage to a single target. 4 times more damage if the target is affected by your friction rifle. That's pretty good. Red Alert G1, which by the way, this core was actually mistranslated for a long time until they fixed it, which I'm glad they did. Anyhow, what does this core do? 13.5% to the bot's health. Additionally, every 12 seconds, create a protective shield that blocks 40% damage for 4 seconds. That's pretty good as well. And then Nightstick, level 8. What does he do? Shoot acid bullets that regularly explode on impact, causing 200% of the equipped bot's DPS as damage over time in an area. Heals your bot for 80% of the damage dealt, increases the normal damage by your bot to 26%. Wow. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I call a very good bot, in my opinion. Now, the thing of the matter is Air Raid got the 4-star Nightstick, and I think it's worthy to talk about him. So let's pull up his stats editor. Alright, so Air Raid is an air class bot. He has the ability of Fusion Bomb, level 10, 3 plus 2. Drop a Fusion Bomb on the target. If the target is destroyed within 20 seconds, the bomb explodes, dealing 5,874 damage to adjacent targets. That's pretty good. And then his core is Enhance Ordnance. That's an air class core. Increases special ability damage by 24.5%. Now, we don't really need to read the Nightstick because he does the same thing as the other one. But we gotta talk about the other bot that got affected, which is known as Smokescreen. Now, Smokescreen was my first ever 5-star, by the way. That is actually a true point. What is his ability, you may ask? Editor, pull up the stats. Execute, level 9. Cost is 3 plus 0. That means you can use this as many times as you want. Deals 2,144 damage to buildings, or 11,791 damage if you hit an enemy bot. And Combiner too. Instantly destroy a building below 40% health, cannot execute the HQ. That'd be broken if you could. But then his core got changed to Nexus Prime. Nexus Prime, what does this core do? It's a Prime core. When the bot is equipped in battle, you deal 26% additional damage to your opponent's Combiner. If you deploy the equipped bot before your Combiner on attack, your Combiner will deal 26% additional damage and gain 45% reduction from raid damage. That's pretty good. And quite frankly, all these upgrades are win-win-win all around. And honestly, Nightstick has been a huge boost to a lot of my team members, even though it just may seem like 3 bots. However, ladies and gentlemen, there's more to talk about because I got a new 5-star somehow from this coming opening. So what are we waiting for? Let's get right into it. Alright, so we are able to get a 5-star bot, but you may be scratching your head at me right now because you're like, you're about to get a bot that you said wasn't good at all. Well, I'll explain a little more after the opening. I'll see you then. Yes, that is correct. I actually got Nosecone. Now, why on earth did I say Nosecone was a terrible bot? Well, the thing in the matter is, back then I actually didn't know he got completely changed stats wise. He used to be very expensive and very terrible on the battlefield, but now people are actually saying that this bot is worthy to even replace Pipes as a war bot, which I have a hard time seeing myself do in the future. But you never know. But let's look at Nosecone. What should we know about him? Pull the stats on the screen. So right now he is going to do research of level 41. He he is a warrior class bot. Path of Destruction, level 8, 3+2. This is a much cheaper cost than he had before. Gain 80% of health and an 80% absorption shield based off your max health for 10.2 seconds, while slowly maneuvering into combat, smashing walls, and reflecting 15% of all the incoming damage for the next 17 seconds. Can't target walls, taunts defenses. That is an essay for the ability. Now the core is Liege Maximo. After using their ability, nearby outpost bots are hacked for 11.5 seconds. You cannot be hacked. That is very helpful, but the combat is where things are going to get interesting. Smashdown, level 7. Every 10 seconds, your enemy's defenses are stunned for 4.3 seconds. Normal bot damage against bots and combiners are increased by 25%. That's pretty good, to be honest. Now, here's the thing. Nosecone might not ever replace Pipes on my war team, but the thing of the matter is, he's a worthy bot to get. Now, if you do happen to know, the anniversary event was coming up, or is coming up at the time of recording this video. Is coming up, not was coming up. But the thing of the matter is if I did not get Nosecone now, he would be an anniversary pull. But now that the anniversary event's coming up, I think, how come I can't click on my, oh, okay, there's my calendar. Okay, so after, this is going to be posted on the 20th. 9, 10. 10 more days till the anniversary by the time this video is uploaded. So I gotta really make my choice of what 5-star I'm gonna go get. It's gonna be individual, so people can't actually like get into Alliance and then just sit there and get the 5-star bot for free without doing anything. No, not this time. So it's definitely gonna save some hassle for a lot of alliances. So good for you guys. I will let you guys know what batch I will be going for, and obviously we will do a video on reviewing. But all said and aside, I think the Titan event was a huge success this round, and I gotta applaud Space Ape because, or whoever the company's taking over Transformers currently, but round of applause to you guys, so I appreciate it. And thank you guys once again for 5 years on YouTube. It's just insanely awesome, and I hope to introduce some new content. Obviously, my computer's having some issues holding all the content I'm holding back from you guys, so expect that content to come out in the future. But before I go, I just want to mention this week I will not be doing much of anything content-wise because I actually have some important business to attend to. So stay tuned for that. Quite frankly, it actually is nothing bad. It's just the store I work at has a Moonlight Madness sale. And basically, it's like hot dogs, chips, pop, all the picnic supplies you can think of. And the thing of the matter is, I don't know if anywhere else celebrates Memorial Day, but that's basically our Memorial Day sale. So I'm going to be pretty busy with that. So if you don't see anything from me until like next Sunday or so, just wink and know that I am just running around like with a chicken with its head cut off. You know it's really late if you start stumbling over your words. So anyhow, I gotta get to bed, so I will see you guys later. Alligators, peace.